Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching Ba-Boom, the political vigilante. There is only one, the People's Channel. And we've been remonetized, ladies and gentlemen, after a 2.5-year exile in the solitary confinement. YouTube has let us out of jail for whatever reason, so you can hit the super chat button. The ads, we're getting paid for the ads. So join us on a live stream and hit the super chat button. There's also scrolling below is a lot of great ways to support the show. And then come out to a live show. We've got a cool show. Ron Placona and I are doing a series called Banned in Florida, a bunch of lefty comics that aren't, because Senator and former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, said communists and socialists are not welcome in Florida. He said that recently. So it's July 27th in Santa Monica at the Crow. The tickets are available at GrahamElwood.com. On the show is myself, Ron Placone, Mona Sheikh, who's been on the show, James Adomian, and Dana Eagle. It's a great show. There's free parking there, and you can take the Expo line and get off at Bergamont Station. It's right there at Bergamont Station in Santa Monica. So please go to GrahamElwood.com and get your tickets for this Thursday, July 27th. Because people like Rick Scott and others keep minimizing climate change. They say that climate change isn't real, or it's fake, or it's just a bunch of Hollywood nonsense. And hey, look, there's a lot of people in Hollywood that say a lot of nonsensical things, but climate change is real. One of the things I say on the show, what do I tell you? I tell you, follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Well, this just came out in The Guardian, ladies and gentlemen. Monster profits for energy giants reveal a self-destructive fossil fuel resurgence, right? Last year, combined $200 billion in profit for big five oil and gas companies brings little hope of driving down emissions. While 2022 inflicted hardship upon many people around the world due to soaring inflation, climate-driven disasters, and war, the year was lucrative on an unprecedented scale for the fossil fuel industry, with the 5 largest Western oil and gas companies alone making a combined $200 billion in profits. Wow. Who are the big 5? Exxon, Chevron, Shell, British Petroleum, and Total Energies all revealed that last year was the most lucrative in all of their collective histories. Oh, man. It's like, just, you think about it and it's like, see, this is what happens because Trump got reelected. He let all of Biden is our president. Biden beat Trump. I've done numerous videos on this show on how Biden has signed more permits to drill on federal lands than Trump did. And Trump was awful for the environment. Make no mistake. His whole cabinet was climate deniers. His first Secretary of State was Rex Tillerson, the former head of ExxonMobil. I mean, literally, ExxonMobil was running the State Department. It's Trump's first year in office. And then, of course, he fired him or whatever. He was always firing people every other week. And Joe Biden is supposed to be better than that. So 2022, that's a Biden year. Biden got sworn in January of 2021. So 2 full years of the Biden presidency has been great for the oil industry. Remember now, the Democrats controlled Biden's first 2 years in office. It changed over the midterms, but Biden controlled Congress, and they had a 51-seat majority, and not a great majority. But they'd always say, Joe Manchin, he gets more money from the coal industry. He's still a Democrat. They let him be in the Democratic Party. Can't they kick him out? Can't the Democratic Party say, we don't back this guy at all? He's bad for the environment because we're the Democrats. We're the good for the environment party. All right, let's read more. Whoops. Here we go. Sorry, there it is. Exxon, the Texas-based oil giant, led the way with a record $55.7 billion in annual profit, taking home about $6.3 million every hour last year. Think about that, guys. Think about that. So, and again, I've shown you videos before how when people say, oh, climate change isn't real. And I face this, there's a lot. I'm a big Bitcoiner. I was just down in El Salvador, and there are some people in the Bitcoin community like, oh, climate change is real because, and I get where that comes from. The media lies to you. The media makes up all this stuff. So when the media says climate change is real, oh, then that must, but they don't look deep enough. Because the media, all these companies I just listed, they all buy ad time on CNN and MSNBC and Fox and ABC and all the rest, right? So if you look at the climate change like coverage that like even CNN or MSNBC does, they always sort of temper it like it's this debate. It's bad, but maybe we don't. There's two sides. They always play that game. And again, I've shown you Exxon did an internal study going back to 1977. Lee Camp mentioned that the oil companies had done a study as far back as 1958 on an episode of Government Secrets. I uncovered one in 1977 that Exxon did. They did an internal study that showed fossil fuel burning was creating climate change, putting carbon in the air, all that stuff. They did another study in like 1981 that said it was even worse than they thought. Again, they paid these scientists, the Exxon, to do these studies, and the scientists came back and said, this is worse than we thought in the early 80s. Then they decided they pivoted, they buried it. And then starting in the like late 80s is when the oil companies started spending money on climate denial. Why are they spending money on climate denial? So that they can have record profits. It's not some Illuminati lizard people plot. It's just good old fashioned greed. All right, let's go down the list. California's Chevron had a record $36.5 billion in profit, while Shell announced the best results of its 115-year history, a $39.9 billion surplus, and BP, another London-based firm, notched $27.7 billion in profit. The French company Total Energies had a record of $36.2 billion. When the 2022 results for all publicly traded oil and gas companies are tallied, the total profits are expected to exceed $400 billion. This is just the top five. Top five got half. A number we've never seen before, and one that was built on the backs of working families who were victimized by oil and gas executives' greed. Remember now, 2022 was when gas in California went to $6 a gallon. Nationwide, it was like $4 or $5 a gallon. It's come down a little bit. Remember that? Yeah. That was all with a democratically controlled House and Senate. My point here is not to say vote Republican. They'll bring your oil prices down. Republicans are awful. They just flat out deny climate. The Democrats say, oh, we're going to got to do something about climate change, and then let this happen, which in my opinion is worse. At least the Republicans are honest with me about how horrible they are. So let's look at these. Look at this. Major oil companies' profits were 20 times larger than the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency budget in 2022. Look at that. EPN budget for 2022 was $9.6 billion. Exxon 55.7, Shell almost 40. Total Energy 36, Chevron 35, BP 27. Each one of those companies was 3 times, in some cases 4 times as much as the EPA got. You add it all up, it's 20 times as much. The stratospheric profits were criticized as outrageous by Joe Biden. Oh, shut up, Joe. Why did you give them drilling permits then? Biden said that we're still going to need oil and gas for a while. Oh, nice little, that's a little wink to the oil companies saying, look, guys, I got to feed my base by saying this is outrageous and this is what the Democrats do. They publicly go rah, 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 and then they take the money and give them the oil permits and let the oil companies do whatever they want. They'll pass one little milquetoast law saying this will protect our children, and it's nothing. It's a Band-Aid. So in the 2020, they had all the oil companies suffered because during the quarantine, the whole world was shut down, right? That's why our skies here in Los Angeles, the air quality got better because nobody was driving. Trucks were driving. Very few planes were in the air, right? So they lost a lot of money in 2020. Wow, they all got it back in 2022. Look at it. See, the gray numbers are you see all the low 2020 numbers. And now record profits. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the UN, was scornful of the industry. If we cannot set a credible course for net zero emissions with 2025 and 2030 targets covering all your operations, you should not be in business. Your core product is our core problem. We need renewable revolution, not a destructive fossil fuel resurgence. It's unbelievable. BP's chief executive, it's called BP a cash machine. We're responding to what society wants. Oh, they're playing the free market crap. No, you're not. You guys could be spending all kinds of money on green energy. You could just flat out pivot to green energy. Yeah, they can. AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph. I don't think AT&T is still in the telegraph business. And they used to be the home phone business. And now they do internet and cell phones and Wi-Fi and all that. You know, come on. BP could say we're British Petroleum is now completely changing and rebranding. We're going all green. We're taking all of our profits. We're investing in green energy. And in 5 years, we won't be doing any oil drilling or refining of oil at all. They could do that. They could take their record profits and do that. And it actually would be a marketing boon for them. People would be like, all right, now I'm on board with BP. They could all get behind hydrogen, right? The EV batteries, look, the cobalt to make electric and lithium batteries for cell phones and cars and iPads and all that is awful. And there's a book out. I saw this guy on Democracy Now! Talking about it. It's awful. It's like slave mining. And I'm an electric vehicle owner. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like giving the gas companies my money for the reasons I've just told you in this video. But I know I've always said electric vehicles are not the silver bullet to climate change, but they're like an interim step. Well, there's a big hydrogen car industry, but it's been largely crushed thanks to Elon Musk because he wanted to get a corner on the electric battery market. The hydrogen people like 10 years ago were like, we just need infrastructure for hydrogen refueling. That's it. You can buy hydrogen cars now. You can only refuel them usually like at your dealer or whatever. So it's depending on what your lifestyle is, might be practical, might not. But we could just overnight, these companies could all say, we're all going to hydrogen, which is clean burning. They could do that, but they don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I believe the book is called Cobalt Red. So that's what we're doing on this show, guys. We're following the money, we're connecting the dots, and we're getting the truth. And if the oil companies are saying climate change isn't real and they're spending money on it, then we all know climate change is real because all they care about is profits. Oil companies help start wars. They destroy people's lives. They poison water. They don't care. In this country and around the world, they don't care. So, and the Democrats only give it lip service. This is all happening under Joe Biden. This is why I didn't vote for Joe Biden in 2020. This is why I wasn't dancing in the streets when he won. I was glad Trump lost. I didn't like Trump, but I was like, really? We're swapping out Trump for Biden? What are we getting? In many ways, as Chris Hedges said, Biden is worse than Trump. Trump has sexual assault claims. He's in court for it right now. Yeah, Trump's an awful person. What about Tara Reid? Excuse me, Tara Reid. Mispronounce it. Sorry, Tara. I've met you in person. Tara Reid was sexually assaulted by Joe Biden, but the Me Too movement shunned her because it wasn't convenient. This is the problem I have with the duopoly. This is the problem I have with both parties. This is the problem I have with the Democratic Party when they just aren't any better. And in some cases, as I've just shown you, they're worse. Support what we're doing, guys. Thank you for supporting our show. So like, share, subscribe, follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Come to a live stream. We usually go on every day at 5. We're live streaming also at the SAG after strikes a couple days a week. Those usually happen around 10 or 11 a.m. Pacific time. But when we're in studio like this, it's 5 o'clock. July 27th, we're at the Crow Comedy, doing the Band in Florida show. Go to tickets at grahamelwood.com. Sign up for the newsletter at grahamelwood.com. And shave your knuckles for justice.